Peace and blessings, peace and blessings, peace and blessings. Rob YB Youngblood coming at you with session number 9 of the Confidence Builder series. Man, we are making some headway, approaching a major milestone. Session number 10 coming up tomorrow, but we're not going to focus on tomorrow. We're going to focus on today. Prayerfully, you found some value in the past sessions that we've had, where the focus of this Confidence Builder series is exactly in the name, to empower you to build your confidence. It's a part of a bigger movement, which is called the Collaboration Creates Currency movement, which was created as a result of this book right here. The Collaboration Creates Currency, the Blueprint for Visibility, Credibility, and Profitability. It's my second book that I collaborated with for my clients, Sherrod Ledet, S. Elliott Brooks III, Marshall Fox, and Deborah Delgado. The focus of the book is that we tell our story about how collaboration created currency for us. We touch on topics such as mental health. We touch on topics such as job loss, mentorship, mindset, methodology, and of course we talk about currency in the form of money. But understand that currency is not just money. So when people see the book, they think collaboration creates money. And while it can create income or money for you or revenue for you, we're focused on it from the perspective of relationships. And so that's why we've been promoting the book during Financial Literacy Month, which is this month of April. And we now have a phenomenal movement called the Empower 5K Financial Literacy Initiative. Long title, but the focus of this initiative is to impact 5,000 lives this year by making sure they get copies of our book, Collaboration Creates Currency, the Blueprint for Visibility, Credibility, and Profitability into their hands. And speaking of books, we're going to continue our series by reading through The Magic of Thinking Big by David Schwartz. Phenomenal book that has actually impacted over 6 million lives as a result of being printed several years ago. And it's a book that many new entrepreneurs, new sales professionals should definitely get their hands on, because it helps you with the greatest asset that you have in business, and that's your mindset. You know, the biggest challenge for most people when they start something new is it's easy to become negative, it's easy to become discouraged, it's easy to become disillusioned that you won't go through adversity. But the reality is that you're going to go through adversity. But when you have a solid reading habit, when you have clarity, when you have confidence, your ability to overcome those challenges become greater and greater. And that's why I'm here. You know, I'm a native of the Bronx, New York. Grew up in a single parent home. My father was actually murdered when I was 2. And I share that for those of you who don't know me, because I want you to understand that adversity is all around you. You're going to go through adversity. Adversity is actually an asset if you have the right mindset. And so that's the goal for this series, is to help enhance your mindset, because those who have clarity will see an increase in confidence. Those who have an increase in confidence will begin to communicate more effectively. I know a young lady right now that, as a result of her making a shift in her mindset, right, and making a shift in her clarity, she started to increase in her confidence, and now she's killing the game as a speaker in the health and wellness space, and I'm just truly proud of her. So we're going to continue this series. We focused on the last couple of days this term called excusitis, which is a mind deadening disease. And it's something that prevents people from being successful, because they don't realize that there's a cure for excusitis. And so, what unsuccessful do to become unsuccessful, successful people do the opposite. And so we talked about age excusitis, or actually we're going to talk about age excusitis today. But we talked about intelligence excusitis, we talked about health excusitis, and so today we're going to talk about age excusitis. And you often hear sometimes people talk about, I'm too old to do this, or it's too late. You know, my time has come, or I'm retired, right? And so it's like, I can't really do anymore because I just retired. And oftentimes Those are things we say ourselves because we don't really imagine that there's more for us that can be done. But did you know that there are people who have succeeded in life at the beginning of their 50s? Right? So it wasn't the end. It wasn't a death sentence. It wasn't something that stopped because they reached a certain age. It's that they saw something new on the inside of them. And I don't care how much you may fail at something. I don't know if you make attempts and it doesn't work out. It doesn't mean that it doesn't work. It just means that that's probably not the right time, and that you are the right person. If something comes to you often, for you to do, it's likely connected to your purpose and your gift, and it's something that you should be exploring, in my opinion. So we're going to pick up where we left off, but the focus of today is on age excusitis. Age excusitis, the failure disease of never being the right age, comes in two easily identifiable forms: I'm too old and I'm too young. You've heard hundreds of people of all ages explain their mediocre performance in life something like this: I'm too old or too young to break in now. I can't do what I want to do or am capable of doing because of my age handicap. Really? It's surprising how few people feel they are just right age wise. And it's unfortunate. This excuse has closed the door of real opportunity to thousands of individuals. They think their age is wrong, so they don't even bother to make the attempt. The I'm too old variety is the most common form of age excusitis. This disease is spread in subtle ways. TV fiction is produced about the big executive who lost his job because of a merger and can't find another because he's too old. Mr. Executive looks for months to find another job, but he can't. And in the end, after contemplating suicide for a while, he decides to rationalize that it's nice to be on the shelf. Plays and magazine articles on the topic, Why Are You Washed Up at 40, are popular, not because they represent true facts, but because they appeal to many worried minds looking for an excuse. How to handle age excusitis. Age excusitis can be cured. A few years ago, while I was conducting a sales training program, I discovered a good serum that both cures the disease and vaccinate you so you won't get it in the first place. In the training program, there was a trainee named Cecil. Cecil was about 40, wanted to shift over to set himself up as a manufacturer's representative. But he thought he was too old. After all, he explained, I've had to start from scratch, and I'm too old for that now. I'm 40. I talked with Cecil several times about his old age problem. I used the old medicine. You're only as old as you feel. But I found I was getting nowhere. Too often people retort with, but I do feel old. Finally, I discovered a method that worked. One day, after a training session, I attempted it on Cecil. I said, Cecil, when does a man's productive life begin? He thought a couple of seconds and answered, oh, when he's when he's about 20, I guess. Okay, I said. Now, when does a man's productive life end? Cecil answered, well, if he stays in good shape and likes his work, I guess a man is pretty useful when he's 70 or so. All right, I said. A lot of folks are highly productive after they reach 70. But let's agree with what you just said. A man's productive years stretch from 20 to 70. That's 50 years in between, or half a century. Cecil, I said, you're 40. How many years of productive life have you spent? 20, he answered. And how many have you left? 30, he replied. In other words, Cecil, you haven't even reached the halfway point. You've used up 40% of your productive years. I looked at Cecil and realized he had gotten the point. He was cured of age excusitis. Cecil saw he still had many opportunity filled years left. He switched from thinking I'm already old to I'm still young. Cecil now realized that how old we are is not important. It's one's attitude towards age that makes it a blessing or a barricade. Curing yourself of age excusitis often opens doors to opportunities that you thought were locked tight. A relative of mine spent years doing many things different: selling, operating his own business, working in a bank, but he never quite found what he really wanted to do most. Finally, he concluded that the one thing that he wanted more than anything else was to be a minister. But when he thought about it, he found he was too old. After all, he was 45, had 3 young children, and little money. But fortunately, he mustered all of his strength and told himself, 45 or not, I am going to be a minister. With tons of faith but little else, he enrolled in a 5 year ministerial training program in Wisconsin. 5 years later, he was ordained as a minister and settled down with a fine congregation in Illinois. Old? Of course not. He still has 20 years of productive life ahead of him. I talked with this man not long ago, and he said to me, if I had not made that great decision when I was 45, I would have spent the rest of my life growing old and bitter. Now I feel every bit as young as I did 25 years ago. And he almost looked it, too. When he licked age excusitis, the natural result is to gain the optimism of youth and feel of youth. When you beat down your fears of age limitations, you add years of life as well as success. A former university colleague of mine provides an interesting angle on how age excusitis was defeated. Bill was graduated from Harvard in 1920s after 24 years in the stock brokerage business, during which time he made a modest fortune. Bill decided he wanted to become a college professor. Bill's friend warned him that he would overtax himself in the rugged learning program ahead. But Bill was determined to reach his goal and enroll in the University of Illinois. At the age of 41, at 45, he had earned his degree. Today, Bill is the chairman of the Department of Economics in a fine liberal arts college. He's happy too. He smiles when he says, I've almost got a third of my good years left. Old age is a failure disease, defeated by refusing to let it hold you back. So if you ever said to yourself, I'm too old or I'm too young, it is a sign that you have age excusitis. And as you heard from what I just shared, age excusitis can be defeated simply by realizing that you still have productive years left. I pray that you got that message, and I hope that it helps to empower, inspire, and impact you. Make sure you order your copy of The Magic of Thinking Big. You see my copy is all bent up, but The Magic of Thinking Big. Order it from Resist Booksellers, a phenomenal book store out of Petersburg, Virginia. Shout out to Demetrius Frazier and his team. You can order copies there. And we support Resist Booksellers because Resist Booksellers is not only promoting collaboration creates currency, but it's also doing great work in the Petersburg community. Listen, we're going to come here every single morning with the Confidence Builder series. Share your comments, promote this to your network, and if you haven't purchased your copy of the Collaboration Creates Currency book, visit collaborationcreatescurrency.com. We're now promoting the Empower 5K financial literacy series. So our goal is to align ourselves with financial advisors, bankers, accountants, real estate agents, mortgage brokers, those who are in the financial sector. We're looking to connect and collaborate with them to identify them as potential sponsors or supporters of this initiative so we can get 5,000 copies of Collaboration Creates Currency into the hands of individuals, college students, young adults, and adults who have a desire to become financially literate, financially independent, and financially wealthy. I'm Rob YB Youngblood, founder of the Collaboration Creates Currency movement. I'm excited about this journey that we're on, but continue to be blessed, be encouraged, and remember your gift will make room for you. We'll see you on the next session. Peace.